yes! Here we are! Thank you, Harry. Thank you for that intro. Good day, everybody. This is Luke To Infinity. I am your host, Luke, and I'm joined with Harry, everyone's favorite sound guy from the Luke and Me show. Thanks for tuning in today, everybody. We have a lot to go over. I have a whole list of stuff, but I think we should start with everybody's mind. We just had Thanksgiving, so hopefully everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Hope everyone ate a lot. It was great to have all that food and be thankful for so much. Going into Thanksgiving here, I know everyone had their eyes glued to the TV, and it wasn't for football. It was actually because everyone was worried about COVID-19 and the impact COVID-19 would have on their family's gathering of Thanksgiving. Yes, that's exactly right. The media had everyone just in fear that they could try to put out on everyone. And I don't know if you might have bought into it. I know I didn't buy into it because there were multiple reports of multiple state governors, state officials, state senators, state representatives, anyone you can think of in a political position. They were all saying, don't go anywhere for Thanksgiving, stay home, don't travel, don't visit your family, don't visit your friends, don't go anywhere. But yet, there they go, and turn around, and there they are, the first ones traveling, and going to places and parties and Thanksgiving gatherings and everything like that. The hypocrites, it didn't work for me. You left this out there, especially the leftist governor of California, okay? He's a big fool, and he really messed himself up, I think. I think a lot of people are mad and upset at him. And then you also have celebrities out there that are, saying to their fans, hey, don't travel anywhere, but yet, there you go, traveling everywhere for Thanksgiving because they can, because they have their private jets and everything, and they can, and they have the money to do that. They hold these big Thanksgiving gatherings and parties, but hey, I guess COVID didn't affect them. It only affects the common folk, the peasants of the country that are supposed to give in to everyone, or give in to the government's terms and conditions, and to just submit to their overall rule. I declare that everyone stay home for Thanksgiving today. Yeah, not gonna happen. Sorry. Yeah, I title that, Thanksgiving versus COVID, and I'm pretty sure Thanksgiving won for the majority of America, which is how it should be. Now, this is a curious thought, though, okay, and I've heard this being said on talk radio that I listen to, but it definitely piqued my interest, and I want to mention this, okay, because I want Luke to Infinity if they weren't the first to report it, I want them to at least be the second to report it. But the thought is, I wonder if you will see the COVID-19 numbers, the number of cases and hospitalizations, over the next 3 days, you will see it increase dramatically. And the media will be all over it. They will be all up in arms, and they will have everybody into a panic because of these numbers that they're just fueling. And the numbers, yes, they may be true, but they didn't happen over Thanksgiving. Okay, they happened over the weekend, over the course of everything, okay? If you were someone like me, I had a good vacation for Thanksgiving. And if you were someone like me, then you were only together for one day if you gathered for Thanksgiving. After that, it was traveling for Black Friday shopping, getting your Christmas stuff together. But the reports you didn't really see. You didn't really see it over Thanksgiving because no one was reporting. No one was recording any new cases. So what they're going to do is they're holding all of these reports back. Okay, they're holding all of them back. And over the course of the next few days, okay, 2 or 3 days, you're going to see dramatic increases of these COVID-19 numbers. And it's because they were holding them back on reporting them instead of over the Thanksgiving weekend that they could have reported, that they should have reported, because that's when these cases occurred. They're only going to report them now, and they're going to use Thanksgiving as the excuse. Mark it right there. Luke to Infinity, the second to report it, other than talk radio. Just be aware of that, because what they're going to do is, the media is they're going to use these increased COVID numbers for Christmas, and they're going to try and shut down Christmas. So that's what brings me to the next question of our show here today. Will Christmas be shut down? Well, everybody, I mean, if the COVID-19 numbers for Thanksgiving appear over the next few days, and it looks like everyone's into a panic, the media draws everyone into a panic, then they're going to have everyone believing that, I guess the Thanksgiving gatherings weren't really a good idea, but it's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. Don't believe it. Christmas, I guarantee you, will not be shut down, because there will be an outrage of people if state governors and state officials or whoever, especially the media, okay, they have to be really careful on this. If they try to challenge Christmas, I'm sorry, it's going to be a mess for them. I don't think they realize the fight that they're going to get into if they try to shut down Christmas. I will be one screaming at the media cameras. I will personally go to whatever news outlet, and I will just be screaming, okay? And I guarantee I won't be the only one doing it, but there will be a lot of people upset if they try, the media especially, tries to pour all this nonsense fear out because of the Thanksgiving numbers supposedly being dramatically high, and they're going to try and cancel Christmas. Don't doubt me, the media will at least mention it, and then once they get a taste of the backlash, they'll probably pull off right away. But don't doubt me on that. Anyway, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I know that it's been a while since I did a Luke to Infinity episode, but there is a couple things that I want to go over, because these were my personal, events that I experienced. My personal experience that I want to share. Okay, I recently was at an amusement park. Okay, now you might be thinking, oh boy, super spreader right here. Now this was before Thanksgiving. And there were two incidents that happened that really struck me funny. The first one was I was in line to go on this one ride. There was a family of 4 in front of us. Okay, mom, dad, and I think they had 2 daughters. Could have been a daughter and a son. But anyway, the mom says to the one, okay, now we're in line, all right? And there's a lot of people at this amusement park. There's thousands of people everywhere. Like, this place was packed. And we're in this line, waiting to get on this one ride. And this lady, all right, this mom turns to her daughter and says, now make sure you stay away from people. Come on. Do we realize how dumb that statement is, lady? Do you realize what you just said to your daughter? You're standing in line. First of all, no. You're at an amusement park with thousands of people. You're standing in line. That's a popular ride with I don't know, tens and there could have been easily 100 people standing in line waiting for this ride. So you're crowded there, and yet you tell your kid to make sure they stay away from people. I ask you this. If you want your kid to stay away from people, why would you bring them to an amusement park where you know it's going to be packed? There's going to be thousands of people there. Why on earth would you bring your kid to an amusement park? And then when you bring your kid to this amusement park, you tell them to stay away from people. Literally something impossible to do. I just did not understand the logic behind this lady's statement to her daughter. So there I am, just in line, dumbfounded by this lady's statement. And then, anyway, we got through the line and got on the ride, and then we got out of there. And then I'm with my fiance the whole time. And we did a few more rides, and I think we're walking out, or we're going to another ride. It's getting kind of late. We were getting tired. We're getting hungry. We didn't want to eat in the park, so we wanted to get out of there. We're walking, and we walk past this one other mom, and says to her son or daughter, and these are just little kids, okay? These are just little kids. But she says, "Don't worry, your mask will protect you." Now, let me give a backstory on this, okay? Because at this amusement park, everywhere you had to go, as soon as you entered the park, you had to have a mask on, okay? But anyway, this is what just blows me away. Don't worry, your mask will protect you. Really? Your mask will protect you. Now, I know what people are thinking. She's right. Protect you from getting sick. No, that's not how it works. The whole stupid saying that has been going out there, my mask protects you, your mask protects me. So how does that kid's mask protect them? It doesn't. The simple answer is, it doesn't, and this is what's driving me nuts, because the media and the government is just spewing all of this nonsense, this garbage, on people, on citizens of the United States, and it's ill-informed citizens like that just buy into this crap, and they end up spewing it on their kids. If that kid ever listens to this Luke to Infinity episode, I want that kid to know. Or if you were someone that has had this happen to you, don't worry, your mask will protect you. That is a false statement to the most infinite, to Luke to Infinity. It is the most false statement that I have ever heard. Your mask will protect you. Unbelievable. I was dumbfounded about that too. I turned to my fiance and I was like, "Did you hear that?" And she's like, "Yeah." I couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe it. Now I know how my fiance feels about all this stuff and me talking about it and whatever, but she cannot deny, okay, and she probably will listen to this Luke to Infinity episode, but she cannot deny that those two statements, stay away from people when you're in thousands of people in a park, stay away from people, and the statement of your mask will protect you, those two statements are incredibly false and very ill-informed. We went to the zoo, alright? This amusement park has a zoo, and we did this as soon as we got to the park. But the zoo is within, you can enter the zoo within the park. So we went into the zoo, and they had, it was all of the outdoor animal areas, okay, where you could see all the animals outside. They didn't have any indoor exhibits open. So, like the reptile center and stuff like that, you couldn't go into any of those because they're in buildings, and you walk through and you look at all the reptiles and then you walk out the other side. Well, they had them all closed because they figure, we don't want that many people. We can't have so many people in the buildings with the reptiles. So, because COVID. So they closed off all of the buildings, all of the indoor exhibits to everyone, so you were basically stuck outside. We got lucky because it was a nice enough day, and it wasn't cold at all. Like we were warm the whole time, and it was so much fun. But here's what I don't get about when they shut the zoo shut down the indoor exhibits. Here's what I don't get about it, because we did our whole thing and we were exiting the park. Okay, at the end of the day, we're exiting the park, and this park has the gift shop. And as you exit the park, the only way out of the park at the front is through the gift shop, everybody. It's through the gift shop. So here they have everyone channeling everyone into this gift shop, because there's like hundreds of people leaving at the same time. So here they are channeling hundreds of people into one little doorway. Okay, they have these big double doors that they could prop open, but nope, they only have one little door propped open, and they have channeling everybody into this one little door, and then there's hundreds of people inside this gift shop, And then on the way out, they're channeling, instead of opening up their doors and letting everybody out, they have everyone being channeled through one little doorway. It did not make sense. I just don't get it. Everyone preaches how dangerous COVID is. Don't do this. Stay away from people. Wear a mask. Don't be in crowds. This, that, the other thing. You have to limit your people here. Don't go. Make sure you have reservations there, or you can only do this, and you can't attend here, and all this nonsense garbage that you hear. All these restrictions that some places have. But yet, if you do get to those places, they do the exact opposite of what they just told you. It just didn't make sense to me. And I just don't know. I don't know what to say about it. I think they really got that wrong. Anyway, over Thanksgiving, I actually got all of my Christmas shopping done. Yeah? Harry's over there in disbelief right now. I got my tree up. I got some lights put out. And I did my Christmas shopping. Did a lot of it online shopping. But there was one store that I had to go to. And it really, really this was really a good personal experience right here that just shocked me. Because I was not aware of this. I go into a sporting goods store. I'm in a family where we hunt a lot. So I go to get a particular set of ammunition. Well, it turns out the entire ammunition section, completely empty. Nothing. Not a single morsel of any sort of ammunition. There were no rockets. There were no bazooka missile launcher rockets. There were no hand grenades. There were no flamethrower packs, and all the way down to your little handheld pea shooter BB gun pistol. Nothing. It was completely empty. Yeah, I know. Harry's over there laughing his head off because, yeah, for all the idiots that think you can buy a grenade at a store, you're dumb. Everything was gone. I did not know this. Harry's over there. How could you not know this? I'm sorry, Harry, but I was not aware of this. You can't go anywhere to buy ammunition. And why is that? The last time that I remember seeing ammo shelves this empty was when Barack Obama was president of the United States. He was president for 8 years. And guess what? Ammunition shelves were pretty much empty for, I don't know, maybe 6.5, 7 years of his entire term. Both terms. His entire serving as president. Alright? 8 years combined. That's what he did. He did 8 years as president. Well, 7.5 years, ammunition shelves were empty. It still gives me a little bit of hope for America. It really does. Because if there's that many people out there that are thinking the exact same way, then yes, there is still some hope for America. Especially if this bumbling buffoon gets into office. Yes, I'm talking about Joe Biden. Which brings me to our main topic of this episode. And so, what we're going to talk about is the Michigan hearing. Okay, the state legislature, I guess, of Michigan had a hearing today about the voter fraud accusations in the state of Michigan. So I'm watching, and there was this lady who was on as a witness, and she worked as informational technology, and her evidence that she presented, her testimony that she said was absolutely insane. And I mean insane as like a shocking way. She worked for the Detroit County Center, and she was there election day to the day after the election. She worked for 26 hours or something like that straight. It was insane. It was crazy. And she said that she saw so much fraud and so much questionable activity going on that she couldn't talk about all of it. And there was, I don't know, a lot of witnesses that they were rifling through here. And they were only giving them 3 minutes. But what's interesting is that she got through her testimony And the state representatives that were there were asking her questions because they were so intrigued or shocked or just blown out of the water that the evidence that this lady presented. She was saying that there were these errored ballots, or they get these ballots and they put them through these counting machines, and the ballots bring up an error message, and it says discard or count again, or resubmit, or something like that. I forget what the terminology was. What they're supposed to do is they're supposed to, if they scan, she gave an example, and she said if you have a pile of 25 ballots, and you scan each ballot, and the 25th one errors out, you're supposed to discard every single ballot that was counted previously to this errored ballot so that it gets rid of those counts, and then you're supposed to resubmit them. Well, what happened is that they wouldn't discard these ballots. Not the physical ballots themselves, but the counting of the machine. They would not discard the count. They would instead resubmit all of the ballots. They would recount all of them because these people were not trained, she said. She said that they either weren't trained or they were trained improperly, okay? That they weren't trained very well. And she said that there was multiple machines that were doing this multiple times within an hour span. Every other hour, there would be multiple machines doing the same thing, that a ballot would error out. And these people who were very poorly trained would just resubmit all of the ballots that were just put through. Now, you might be thinking, well, don't these ballots go into a bin or something after they scan them? Well, one of the state representatives that was at that hearing asked her that. She said, or the guy who questioned her said, well, I thought they have these ballot boxes that once you scan a ballot, they go into this metal box and you can't get it out. Her answer was astounding. She goes, yeah, that's what they were supposed to do, but they didn't. Instead, they used the ballot boxes as barricades to block poll watchers, poll observers. They used barricades. This is in Detroit, Michigan, people. These ballot boxes that are supposed to protect these ballots were used as barricades to keep people out that were supposed to be there, that had every right to be there as poll watchers, as ballot observers. They had every right to be there, but they were blocked out. They were kept away. There was plexiglass that these people had to stand behind from anywhere from 20 feet away to 200 feet away. And they had to watch through this plexiglass, and they had to keep an eye on everything happening, an accurate account that way. You've got to be joking me. So, and then she said that there were poll observers that were kicked out because they started asking too many questions. Well, this was just a phenomenal statement that this lady was making in her testimony, and I think a lot of the Michigan state reps were just floored. I mean, they were just shocked so bad that some of them, it looked like some of them were about to pass out from the shocking evidence that this lady was presenting. I wish I remembered what this lady's name, and I don't have a clip of it anywhere either, because it's so hard because the media isn't reporting on it. Imagine that, everybody. The media didn't report on it. Yeah. I had to find this on one of Donald Trump's posts. Oh, well, it's Donald Trump's post. No, this was an actual event that happened in Michigan today. You had to go to a reliable news source, and you had to listen to talk radio to actually find out what's going on. Yeah, but the mainstream media did not report on it. They didn't give a minute of airtime, and that's sad. I just cannot believe it. I will say this, and remember, Luke to Infinity got to it first. Do you remember when the Georgia recount was happening? Okay, now that was a fraud of a recount because they didn't verify anything. All they did was just count the same ballots that they already counted. That's stupid. The whole point of the recount is to verify the ballots. Duh. but they didn't do that. Well, anyway, let me give you a little bit of background. All right, all of these trials are saying it's supposed, or I should say this: the mainstream media is saying that all of these trials are based off of a flawed accusation that the Trump administration is putting forward, saying that these irregularities are happening through the voting software, through the actual voting software, Dominion with Smartmatic, and you hear all that all over the media. But that is not what Donald Trump is after. He's after the physical ballots that people are in charge of hand counting and having the overall oversight of these ballots being counted at these polling places. And if this lady is saying from Michigan, in Detroit, Michigan today, when she was accounting her testimony and recounting her experience at this counting center, well, she's saying that these errors are from people. And whether these were people that were put into these positions on purpose, that is what the investigation is on. That is what the questions are. Okay, these people that are in charge of these centers need to be subpoenaed. They need to be questioned. They need to be called out because they are creating the errors and the irregularities, and it's costing hundreds of thousands of votes. Yes, I said it. Hundreds of thousands of votes. And it could, from what this lady's testimony in Michigan today was, is that it could be done very easily with a group of about 5 people could just scan the same ballot or the same 10 ballots or a group of 50 ballots that they have. I don't know how many that they count at a time, but whatever's on the table at that time, if they're all for one candidate, they just scan that same pile over and over and over again. And you can rack up hundreds of thousands of votes this way. So this is a human error, okay? And the human error was made on the software, on the actual machine. So here's where the Luke To Infinity show got it right. This was back in the Georgia recount.
Have reportedly been uncovered in Georgia amid its recount process that weren't previously included in the state's overall tally of ballots in the presidential election. Georgia's voting system manager told the newspaper the mishap, and he said it was a result of human error, not equipment issues. Well, of course it's going to be human error. That's what Donald Trump's been saying.
There you have it, everybody. Luke To Infinity said it first. It's human error. That is exactly what Donald Trump has been saying all along. And now you have the other representative, the supposedly lawyer of Donald Trump's team, this Sidney Powell, and Luke To Infinity got that wrong because turns out she was never one of Donald Trump's lawyers on the team. She's doing her own investigations on the Dominion software and how it's run overseas. She's looking into the servers. She's looking into that mess. Now, that could be a mess in and of itself because the Dominion software was used by Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, and that's how he got himself elected so many times. It was ridiculous. He rigged it. Okay, he went in and he fixed these machines, okay, fixed, I say that in quotes, these machines so that they could count certain votes towards him. Donald Trump is laser-eyed focused on saying that the error happened with human error. It needs to be investigated. And that's what Donald Trump has been saying this whole time. Please investigate these human errors in our election process. Now, this episode has been getting really long. So, with that being said, hope you had a happy Thanksgiving, and maybe we'll do, I don't know, maybe a few more episodes before Christmas, and then we'll just keep everybody updated on this whole election thing, because it turns out, I guess, what's the deadline, like December 14th or something like that is when the Electoral College has to make its decision. We'll know. It's getting close, and it's getting intense. Keep an eye out on the news, and thank you for listening to Luke to Infinity. I am Luke. That sound guy over there, his name is Harry, and this has been Luke to Infinity. Join us next time as we dive deeper and deeper into infinity.